The voice message arrived at 2:13 a.m. I didn't recognize the number. I almost deleted it. Almost. Static breathed into my ear first. Then a woman inhaled sharply like she'd been running. Listen, I don't have much time. He thinks I erased everything. Silence. My thumb hovered over the screen. My heart did not race. It tightened. Slow. Methodical. Like a fist closing. You don't know me, she whispered. But you loved my sister. The air in the room shifted. I sat up. The sheets still carried her perfume, lavender and hospital antiseptic. A ghost press between fabric and skin. She'd been dead 6 months, buried with our child inside her. The doctors called it a complication, a tragic storm of biology. I called it theft. The voice continued. She didn't leave you. She was pushed out, disowned, isolated. He made sure of it. A thud in the background. A door, maybe. He's coming back. I shouldn't... The message cut. No goodbye. No explanation. Just breathing, then absence. I replayed it 3 times. Each time the word pushed lodged deeper in my skull. I stared at the dark ceiling and felt something old wake up. Not grief. Grief is loud, wet, chaotic. This was clean. A blade sliding free of its sheath. Someone had rewritten the night she died, and they were afraid I'd read the original version. Her family told me she left by choice. That was the official narrative. She was unstable, emotional, pregnant, and irrational. They said she ran from responsibility, from shame, from me. They said I romanticized her. They said many things with steady eyes. I believed none of them, but belief without proof is a cage. You pace inside it. You memorize the bars. The voice message was a key. I opened old emails first. Archived folders I never had the courage to revisit. There were gaps. Weeks where she should have written and didn't. Then sudden bursts of affection. Apologies that didn't match any argument I remembered. I'm sorry if they talked to you. Please don't answer unknown calls. I'm protecting you. Protecting me from what? I checked my call logs from that year. Numbers I never saved repeated like fingerprints at a crime scene. Her father's office. Her brother. Private lines. A pattern of intrusion. My chest stayed still. No shaking hands. No dramatic collapse. Just a growing equation balancing itself. She didn't abandon me. She was cornered. And I had been managed, handled, fed a story while she drowned in another room. The realization didn't explode. It settled. Heavy, permanent. Someone had orchestrated our separation with surgical precision, and my child died inside that silence. I called the number back from a public phone. It rang once. She told me you'd call, the sister said. Her voice was thinner now, stripped of urgency. Fear leaves a residue you can taste. We didn't exchange pleasantries. She kept recordings, she whispered. Conversations, threats. Dad said the baby would ruin the family name. Said he'd make her disappear if she didn't come home. Disappear, such a civilized word for erasure. Where are they? I asked. A pause. I have them. But if he knows I talked, he won't, I said. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't promise protection. I stated a fact I intended to manufacture. We met in a parking structure that smelled like oil and rain. She handed me a flash drive with trembling fingers. She wouldn't look at me. She loved you, she said, barely audible. They told her you'd agreed to let the baby go, that you signed papers. My lungs forgot their function. A forged signature, a fabricated betrayal. They killed her trust before her body followed. I drove home without turning on the radio. The city passed in silent frames. When I plugged the drive into my laptop, I felt calm. Truth was finally measurable. Audio files lined the screen like tombstones. I pressed play. Her father's voice filled the room. Cold, controlled, familiar. If you keep that child, you are not my daughter, and he will never see you again. We own the narrative. Remember that. Her crying was muffled, like she was already buried. I didn't stop the recording. I let every word carve its place. I invited him to dinner. He accepted instantly. Men like him mistake politeness for submission. He arrived in a tailored suit, wearing grief like a decorative pin. He hugged me. I didn't reciprocate. He didn't notice. We ate in silence. He complimented the food, asked about my work, performed normalcy with professional grace. When the plates were cleared, I placed my phone between us. I found something, I said. He smiled, patient, curious. I pressed play. His own voice rose from the speaker. The blood drained from his face in stages. First the lips, then the eyes, finally the posture. He shrank without moving. The recording ended. The room hummed. He opened his mouth, closed it, tried again. I can explain. You already did, I said. My tone surprised him. No accusation, no tremor, just acknowledgement. He reached for the phone. I moved it out of reach. You forged my name, I continued. You isolated her. You engineered her death and called it protection. That's not... I met his eyes. He stopped speaking. Because we both knew the word truth had entered the room, and it was not negotiable. I sent copies, I said lightly. To your board, to your investors, to every charity that prints your name in gold. His hands began to shake, a delayed reaction. The body realizing what the mind refused. You wouldn't, he whispered. I slid an envelope across the table. Inside were printed transcripts, timestamps, legal letterhead. I already did. He stared at the papers like they might bite him. You destroyed my family, I said. Not louder, not angrier, just precise. I dismantled your reputation. It seemed proportional. Tears pooled in his eyes, real ones, not the ceremonial grief he wore at the funeral. Please, he said. The word was small, childlike. For a moment I studied him. This architect of ruin, this man who believed bloodlines were assets and love was a liability. I felt nothing heroic. No triumph, just balance. The universe correcting a clerical error. I stood. He didn't try to stop me. He was busy watching his empire collapse in his imagination. It's louder there. Outside, the air was cold enough to taste. I breathed it in and waited for catharsis, for tears, for some operatic release. Nothing came. Grief had burned itself out months ago. What remained was structure. Clean lines where chaos used to live. Her sister texted one word, "Thank you." I didn't reply. Some debts aren't settled with gratitude. They're settled with exposure. I walked past the restaurant window and saw him still sitting there, folded over the evidence of his own voice. A man haunted not by ghosts, but by documentation. Perfect. I touched the ring in my pocket. I'd stopped wearing it after the burial. Not out of anger, out of preservation. Love deserves distance from contamination. Tonight I felt it return to its original weight. Not pain, not longing. Memory stripped of lies. I kept walking. He would spend the rest of his life explaining himself. I would spend mine finally knowing I never abandoned her. And in that quiet certainty I felt something rarer than revenge. I felt free.